What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Listen to me for a second here. This government shutdown, that's not just political theater. I'm telling you right now, this is the perfect cover-up for something massive. The XRP ETF approval. Wall Street knows. The SEC knows it. And if you're watching this video, you're about to know it as well. I'm going to break down while a Cambridge analyst are calling the XRP the next Bitcoin, why the SEC shutdown is nothing but a smokescreen, and why Ripple is already building the global financial rails while everyone else is distracted by Wall Street drama. Stick with me. This isn't a drill. If I'm right, what's coming next for XRP is bigger than 2017, bigger than the 2021 bull run. This is the financial reset moment. Without further ado, let's jump into it. You see this article right here on your screen, and we're starting with it. A Cambridge analyst recently came out and said Wall Street is looking at XRP the exact same way that was looked at Bitcoin back in 2013. Let's go ahead and pull this up on the screen and let's have a look at it. Get a little highlights going. It says 7 XRP ETF applications are under SEC review, with decisions scheduled for mid-October, which could now be pushed off with the US government being shut down. This list includes Wall Street behemoth, Bitwise, Grayscale, 21 Shares, Wisdom Tree, Canary Capital, Franklin Templeton, and CoinShares. Collectively, these firms, well, they only manage a smooth $1.7 trillion. It says beyond the weight of ETFs, Ripple's application for a U.S. national bank charter is also waiting a decision during the same exact window. Interesting, isn't it? Notably, approval on both fronts could give XRP a dual boost, legitimizing it as an investable product and a regulated financial utility. So think back in 2013 when Bitcoin was laughed at. It was called a scam, a joke, but behind closed doors, institutions, they were watching. They saw the potential before retail even realized what was happening. Fast forward to today, XRP has the exact same setup. But here's the twist. Bitcoin in 2013 didn't have global partnerships. It didn't have banking rails. It didn't have regulators already testing it. XRP does. And this is why Wall Street is paying attention. Not because XRP is hype, but because XRP is utility. XRP is speed. XRP is liquidity. And XRP is settlement. It's not a casino token. This is infrastructure. So when I hear analysts comparing XRP to the early days of Bitcoin, I don't hear speculation. I hear deja vu in the same pattern, but this time it's on steroids. And listen, if you're still sitting here listening like, all right, man, this sounds huge, but what do I do? Well, that's the exact reason that I opened up the one-on-one phone calls. If you want to lock in that crypto plan before this XRP ETF madness unfolds, book your call today. The link is down below. Don't wait until it's on CNBC. Don't wait until the price is out of reach. Secure your plan while the doors are still open. Now we move over to this, and this is very interesting. Let's get into a little conspiracy play that no one in mainstream finance wants to admit. So the SEC shut down. You think it's random? You think it's just government incompetence? Nah, there's no way. They know XRP's next in line. They know Ripple's banking chart is waiting to get approved. They know once approval hits, liquidity is going to flood in, just like it did with Bitcoin, just like it did with Ethereum. And if the floodgates open too soon, what happens? Well, retail eats first. They can't have that. They can't have us, retail, the working class. They can't have us winning. So what's the move? Pull the plug, cause chaos, delay approvals, distract the public with the shutdown drama while the big players get time to position themselves. This is how the game is played. By the time the shutdown is resolved, the insiders, they're going to already have their bags filled. Let's read what the SEC wrote here. It states that the SEC is not going to pretty much approve anything as they're shut down. Everything is going to need to put to the side, and it's going to have to wait. Interesting, right? The perfect timing, some might say. And when approval drops, it's too late for the average person. I'm sorry to say. You'll see the headlines about XRP spiking, and retail will be left chasing green candles, madness, while Wall Street rockets it to the moon. So ask yourself, are you watching the puppet show, or are you watching the puppeteers? Because you know what? I know what I'm doing. Then we get to this article. This is coming over to you from XRPRightNow.com, my Ripple and XRP only dedicated news website, talking about David Schwartz resigning here. It says during Schwartz's tenure, Ripple has made significant strides in the crypto space. The company's digital currency, XRP, has emerged as a strong contender against Bitcoin. There goes that narrative again, demonstrating the potential for high yields and indicating a promising future for investors, me and you. As the market continues to evolve, institutional adoption, it's expected to grow, further strengthening its position in the crypto sphere. And it states in here, in conclusion, while the departure of Ripple CTO David Schwartz makes the end of an era, it signals the new beginning of a chapter. The dynamic crypto market, institutional adoption, and potential regulatory changes present both challenges and opportunities. And as Ripple transitions into this new phase, its innovation spirit, coupled with a strong foundation, will play a pivotal role in shaping its future. As a result, Ripple and its digital currency XRP remain promising prospects for investors and traders alike. So let's talk about the elephant in the room for a second, David leaving. Everyone's freaking out, but I want you to think deeply here. Why does the builder leave? Because the building is done. Look at history. Satoshi left Bitcoin when it became unstoppable. Steve Jobs eventually stepped aside because the foundation was there. David leaving is the final stamp that the XRP system is ready. But here's the juicy part. It wasn't handed off to just anyone, my personal belief. This is where BlackRock, the Vanguards, the mega institutions step in. Ripple doesn't need David anymore, because the system is being upgraded from startup level to Wall Street level. Think about that. Ripple isn't collapsing, it's graduating. And if BlackRock is even sniffing around, you already know what that means. The world's most powerful money managers are about to make XRP enter their playground. And then, what do we come to find out about here? Well, Vanguard enters the chat. Right on cue. Bloomberg drops the bomb, folks. Vanguard is now considering offering Bitcoin and crypto products. Listen up.
If you're a Vanguard investor and you want to buy Bitcoin ETFs, you don't want to go to another platform. And nearly every major platform now offers Bitcoin ETFs. So I feel like this is a sign of times, a big shift, but still we're not sure. But when we talked to Vanguard, they said they're listening to clients, they're talking about it. So again, they're opening the window by a little.
Yeah, I mean, to me, what it sounds like is they saw demand from clients.
Yes.
And they want to make sure that clients stay on their platform to do what they want.
The ecosystem, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yes. Eric Baltunas, again, he was the one who I talked to for this story. He said that, if Bitcoin ETFs weren't as successful, we may not be seeing this. But it's so hard to ignore the astounding success. I mean, altogether, the cohort has around 142 billion in assets. 80 billion of those is from BlackRock. 20 billion alone came this year. So you don't even see the demand abating. And with the SEC now, you might see more cryptocurrency ETFs to come. And to close the door on that money-making big, it's just lavishing capital, investors lavishing capital into these ETFs, is a big, maybe, mistake, according to some.
I wonder to how much of a role the CEO, Salim Ramji, plays here in Vanguard's not changing his mind, but, being a little bit more open to the idea of crypto and blockchain.
Definitely big. I'm glad you brought that up because Salim Ramji, he's a BlackRock veteran. To many, he was one of the people in charge or led the charge for the IBIT to launch. So he has expressed openness with blockchain and Bitcoin. And he's the first outsider to ever become the CEO of Vanguard. So this is definitely potentially, according to insiders, we don't have proof yet.
Is it a little risky? Because in just 20 seconds here, if for some reason we see a widespread decline in crypto asset prices, people could say, "Hey, why did you let us do this?"
Could be, but that's the beauty of investing. You give people the choice to make that.
You give people the choice. That is the beautiful thing about investing. You heard what you said about insiders, right? They're here. They're all here. And I talk about this narrative a lot. Wall Street is not going to let Their mega clients buy crypto and put their money at risk to lose 90% of their net value. These bull runs will come to an end at some point. The question is it during this cycle or is it during 2030? Vanguard manages over 7 trillion, with a T, 7 trillion. And they straight up said, it's hard to ignore the outstanding success of crypto. Do you see what's happening? First, Bitcoin ETFs get the green light, then Ethereum, then sliding right in XRP ETFs. This is the domino effect, everyone. And once Vanguard signals that they're ready, it's like the green light at the start of the race. Every other institution's going to follow. The wall of money, it is lining up. And once it breaks, it's not going to be a drip. It is going to be a tidal wave. There are going to be supply shortages. There are going to be green candles, and retail is going to be chasing. Once you get these mega institutions in, the genie's out the bottle. And guess what? It is not going back in. So let's bring this full circle here, all right? So we have Cambridge saying that XRP is the next Bitcoin 2.0. I mean, Bitcoin was $1. It hit over $120,000. XRP is $3. Sky is the limit. They laughed at Bitcoin back in the day. Now look at it. The SEC shut down a cover-up, if you ask me, for the insiders to buy more time. David stepping down. It's not the end. It is the handoff to the Wall Street giants. We talked about the puppets and who's maningling those little strings behind the scene. Vanguard is now sniffing around crypto. Sure, BlackRock, a little fuse under their butt. And XRP's already tested and it's ready to go live in corridors all around the world, everyone. This isn't chaos. This is coordination. And the question you need to ask yourself, are you going to wait until the ETFs are approved and the price has skyrocketed? Or are you going to position yourself before the curtains lift? Because you know what? History doesn't repeat, it rhymes. And right now, XRP is rhyming with the early days of Bitcoin. So don't sleep on this. Stay in, lock in, stay sharp. And when XRP is rhyming with the early days of Bitcoin, you're not going to want to sleep on this. And when XRP rockets, you'll already be in the cockpit, not watching this thing from the sidelines. I hope you're ready. I know I am, folks.